She didn't walk into that hall as a bride filled with dreams. She walked in carrying fear, responsibility, and a secret no one bothered to ask about. As Emily stepped forward, conversations around the room softened into whispers. Not because she looked extraordinary, but because people had already decided who she was: a single mother, standing alone, wearing a simple dress that couldn't hide exhaustion in her eyes. Beside her sat a man the world recognized instantly, a billionaire whose name carried power, influence, and wealth beyond imagination. Yet his body remained still, supported by a wheelchair that told its own story. People didn't see two humans standing at the edge of a life-changing moment. They saw imbalance. They saw assumptions. They saw a deal. No one wondered what it costs to choose survival over pride. No one asked how many nights she cried before making this decision. In their eyes, this was not love. It was a transaction. Emily was only 29 years old, but life had pressed on her like time moved faster for her than for anyone else. She had learned early that effort does not always protect you from loss. Her husband left quietly, leaving behind silence instead of support. No goodbye, no explanation that mattered, just the sudden weight of raising a child alone. She worked wherever she could, early mornings, late nights, jobs that barely noticed her name but drained her strength. At home, the table was never empty. It was filled with unpaid bills, hospital letters, and reminders of what she couldn't afford. Each envelope carried pressure. Each phone call carried fear. Sleep became a luxury. Hope became something she rationed, and every time she thought she had reached the limit, life asked for more. Her son's illness didn't arrive suddenly. It crept in quietly, disguising itself as tiredness, then weakness, then long hospital visits that blurred together. Emily learned how to smile in waiting rooms, how to stay calm while doctors spoke in careful tones, how to be strong when her child looked at her for reassurance. One night, after another exhausting day, she sat beside his bed while he slept. The machines hummed softly. His breathing was shallow but steady. That was when the question replayed in her mind. How will you be paying for the next phase of treatment? She had no answer, only silence and fear she refused to show. In that quiet room, she understood something painful but honest. Dignity means different things when a life depends on you, and a mother will choose her child every time. The message arrived on a day she almost gave up. Short, polite, easy to ignore, but desperation has a way of making impossible choices feel necessary. The office was calm, almost unreal in its elegance, and there he was. Not intimidating, not demanding, just present. He spoke without drama, without promises of romance or happiness, only truth. Years earlier, an accident had taken his ability to walk, but it also took something else: his trust in people who valued him only for what he could provide. He explained the situation clearly: public expectations, family pressure, a need for stability that money alone couldn't buy. He wasn't asking for love. He wasn't offering a fantasy. 1 year, a legal agreement, mutual respect. In return, her son's treatment would be fully covered, without limits, without conditions. Emily felt the weight of the decision settle into her chest. This wasn't rescue. This was reality. And reality doesn't wait for comfort. The wedding day arrived quietly, without celebration or joy. No childhood dreams, no fairy tale expectations. The hall was filled with people who measured life in numbers, appearances, and control. They believed they already understood this story: a woman who needed money, a man who needed an image, nothing more. Emily stood beside him, her hands trembling despite her calm expression. She'd already made peace with the judgment, already accepted that the world would never know the truth. He sat beside her, composed, watching the room with eyes that noticed everything and revealed nothing. The ceremony continued. Words were spoken. Promises were heard but not yet understood. And then, everything paused. "Please stand." The priest's voice was gentle, routine. Chairs moved. Guests rose. Except one.
The silence that followed was heavy, the kind that presses against the chest. Emily felt it before she saw it. Movement. He tightened his grip on the armrest. His breathing changed, not rushed, controlled. Slowly, deliberately, he leaned forward. His legs trembled, his hands shook. And then, he rose. Not easily, not effortlessly, but enough. Enough to silence every whisper. Enough to break every assumption. In that moment, Emily realized something that changed everything she thought she knew. This man wasn't hiding weakness. He was hiding strength. And this story was only just beginning.